sky is pink and brown. If the fire is black and yellow, and play every day goes. Hey everyone, we talking about Frank Ocean. Listen, let's just play. Let's roll that footage. Get right into it.
What inspires me to make music is, I guess I'm just inspired to tell stories, and you got to make sure the listener is listening to you. And so if you put it in the form of a song, oftentimes if the song is striking enough, then you can really deliver the story, most effectively while keeping the ear of the listener the whole time. So, I guess it all starts with the stories for me.
Oh, that's a cool looking guy. Listen, I have minimal idea who Frank Ocean is. I've heard the name before, and I just didn't know who he is. And I was on the gram today and I saw Joe Button calls Frank Ocean a scammer after his recent Coachella performance. Y'all could have gotten the baby or for a quarter of the price, is what he said. And I'm like, what did Frank Ocean do? I was confused. I had no idea what was going on. And it caused me to do a deep dive into who is Frank Ocean. One of the my so backing up though, my niece also, she was telling me he's gonna perform at Coachella, and then I ran into this video from Coachella that is pretty cool. Let's see. No, that's not the one. Okay, I'm gonna find it for y'all. Here we go.
At Coachella. So first off, many of us were expecting to watch the live stream from home, but we were informed last minute that his set would not be aired online. So obviously many of us were so disappointed, but here's what the people who were at the show had to say. This was the set list. He started off with Novocaine, which was apparently really good. He eventually gave a speech and said that he missed his fans very much and that there's not an album, but there's not one right now. He also gave mention to his brother Ryan, who passed away in 2020.
Oh wow. Man, that's tough to lose a sibling. I've never lost one. I can't even imagine how that feels. It looked like it was a younger brother too. That must have been even worse.
Saying that they used to come there a lot and he would have been so excited. Okay, now let's get into the tea. Apparently, Frank had this whole ice rink set for his show. There were ice skaters there and everything, but last minute he changed his mind and they had to melt down the ice, and that's what caused the 57-minute delay. Fans are calling Frank Ocean's set
57?
a listening party, that he barely sung any songs. A bunch of them were remixes of the original songs. There were audio issues, long pauses, and no merch for fans. It seems like a lot of fans were very, very, very disappointed, while the Frank Ocean stans are giving him the benefit of the doubt. What do you guys think about everything that went down at the Frank Ocean show? It's definitely going down in history, but I don't think for the right reasons.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that video has me intrigued. And it had me intrigued. I had to go diving deeper. Coachella, brother died. This talented artist. I mean, I didn't know a lot about him. And then of course, you gotta go to Wikipedia. I went to Wikipedia. Did y'all know he had a fight with Chris Brown? I'm going to talk about it later. And of course, there's other things, his sexuality. And I mean, these videos really pull back the curtain on um my brain just had a straight Frank Ocean's life, his uh, sex, his drugs that he may use, and even his Coachella and different reaction, how he interacted with a lot of different artists. Did you all know that Beyonce even worked with him a lot? There's a whole video about it. I'm not going to play everything. I'm going to link every single video that we're going to review here today in the description, and you could go and watch the entirety. I'm just showing y'all the highlights, the clips. It's like a reaction of all the things I found out about Frank Ocean. He's super talented. My son, I was thinking, If the sky is black, pink and white, if the ground is black and yellow. Listen, my son actually learned that song from his music teacher the first time, and he really loves him because my son also plays piano and plays and sings at the same time. Who knows? Maybe he's the next younger upcoming Frank Ocean, but more accessible. We'll see. Keep an eye out. Anyway, let's find out about the Frank Ocean. We already shown that he just really is really moved by music, and I here's this video I found absolutely intriguing. This is the introduction to Be Yourself.
Many college students have gone to college and gotten hooked on drugs.
Of course, I speeded up. I'm sure y'all don't want to hear it in regular time, but you can hear it. Listen real closely.
Marijuana and alcohol. Listen, stop trying to be somebody else. Don't try to be someone else. Be yourself and know that that's good enough. Don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be like someone else. Don't try to act like someone else. Be yourself. Be secure with yourself. Rely and trust upon your own decisions, on your own beliefs. You understand the things that I've taught you. Not to drink alcohol, not to use drugs. Don't use that cocaine or marijuana because that stuff is highly addictive. When people become weed heads, they become sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned. Sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned. That's all marijuana does to you.
Sluggish, lazy, stupid, and unconcerned. That's all marijuana does to you. Sluggish, lazy, stupid, unconcerned. Is that correct? That's what the mom said. Let's keep playing.
Okay? This is mom. Unless you're taking it under doctor's control, then it's regulated. Do not smoke marijuana. Do not consume alcohol. Do not get in the car with someone who is inebriated. This is mom. Call me. Bye.
That's intriguing. Now, it's very interesting that right after that, that's just the introduction to the song. And I read in the comment section, because the comment section is where all the jewels are. So in the comment section, it says, it's not Frank's mom. It's a friend. I don't know if y'all can, let me see. Make sure y'all can. It's not Frank's mom. It's a friend of his mom. It says so in his magazine. Apparently he has a magazine. That's something else I didn't know about him. He has a whole magazine. There's an interview with her. She leaves voicemails like this for her son and friends all the time. Frank put it on here ironically. So ironically, the opening line of this next song says, "Gone off tabs off that acid." So I don't know. Was it trolling to put the mom's voice on a song that later on you talk about being on acid? I don't know. What do you all think? Because I mean, there's a lot of drugs involved in some of the things. Let me play you all another clip where, let me see. Hold on, I've got it right here. Is this the one? Okay, let me see if this is the one. No, that's not the one. Where is that? The clip with him. I think I had it here. Hold on. I'm gonna find it for you all because it was right. See? No. Man. Let me find it for you. That clip for you all, real quick. But it was in man, I had it here too. This is annoying. I'm gonna find it. Give me 1 second because it's a super cool clip that I have to find for you all here. So in the meantime, let's keep chit-chatting while I try to find this clip for you all. I mean, it's kind of disappointing, right? At least that's how I felt. I'm like, they're telling me this is a super smart, super artistic, creative artist. And it seems like he's just talking about the same thing like everybody else. It's like drugs and drinking and all of that. It's the same thing he's up to. I don't know. That didn't go over well with me. That's a problem for me. And whatever. I know it's not that deep, Dr. D Nice, you may be saying, but that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I felt disappointed. Why does he have to talk about drugs too? Man. Okay, here it is. Here's that video. I'm gonna find it. Okay. Is that okay? Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Ocean told Def Jam if they wanted another album, he wanted $1 million and complete freedom with the creation of his next record. They forked over the money and Frank got to work. He wrote all the...
Okay, so put a pin in that because he was with Def Jam and it's not all over the place. It's going to come together, I promise you. He was with Def Jam and they had some issues. That's what they were Joe Budden was talking about in the very beginning about how he finessed the record industry. And Frank Ocean had this deal with Def Jam. We'll go into it afterwards, but this the part that I really want y'all to hear about him.
The songs for his next project in just 3 weeks and refine them for the next 9 months. On July 10, 2012, Frank officially released his first studio album, Channel Orange. The album became an instant classic. It received widespread critical acclaim and was named the best album of 2012 by numerous publications. Ocean earned nomination for several Grammys.
Yeah, this Grammy goes to...
Okay, look at that. This is the part I really want you all to look at. Who is in the category with him? It's Frank Ocean, it's Miguel, and it's Chris Brown. I want y'all to just put a pin in that one. We're gonna get around to it. Right now. We're just talking about his songs where he mentions a lot of drugs in his songs. Just put a pin in that one. We'll keep playing that.
Frank Ocean.
He won the Grammy.
Crack, rack, crack, rack. Crack, rack, crack, rack.
Drugs are a main theme of this record, but
You all hear that? Crack, 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 crack. When I heard this part, I was so confused. I mean, like literally, this is me digging through, doing research, trying to understand who this man is. I linked all the videos that I watched in the comment section. And I was watching this. He's going up to play his Grammy, and they play a clip of his song, and then talks about how that first album was just littered with references to drugs and, of course, love. You know, he speaks about love. That was shocking to me. I mean, and then here's this other clip that I found on the gram about him. Here's this other one. I'm disappointed. I told you all that. I felt like this was a different kind of guy with a different type of feel about him, and people just love his music. And then what do we have? He's just talking about drugs. Not a lot though. Of course I'm getting carried away. His voice is amazing. He sings good songs about love that people love to think and contemplate the meaning of life to. And it's kind of like, y'all, it was a Chance the Rapper who said sometimes he used psychedelics. I don't, I'm not into that. I really feel you can be creative without having these drugs take you to this other level. You all let me know what you think. I'm a whole doctor. That is just how I feel about it. And I feel this is the same glorification of drugs use that, and he has a young wisdom teeth in your audience, and y'all can get some. But you know what? That was what I found out about him. I'm doing research, and let's keep digging more into what I found out about our guy here. So you all heard in there, it alluded to him with something with Def Jam. Oh, this is juicy. And that's what Joe Budden was talking about when, let me find it, I'll find it again, when Joe Budden was saying how he didn't like him because he thought he was a scammer. And they go into little details about he did something. Well, let's just find out what exactly he did, because I was like, what? Huh? What? Let me. Okay, here we go.
In August of 2016 began the rollout for his second studio album, Endless, the final release to fulfill his contract and get out of Def Jam's grasp. However, something was different about this one. Frank signed an exclusive album deal with Apple that still remains in the legal limits of his Def Jam contracts, but Endless wasn't pieced together like a traditional track-by-track album would be. Instead, it was showcased via live stream that lasted over 5 days, which was only accessible on Apple Music.
So he's streaming for 5 days? I'm here streaming for, I'm at 17 minutes now. I'm like, man, I hope these people don't click off. Hey, while y'all here, anyway, before y'all click off, please like and subscribe, turn on notifications. You know, I'm live every single Wednesday at 5. This week was at a 7, but usually at 5. And of course, randomly, I get these red herrings and I'm just like, I need to find out more. And then you end up with one of these videos. Anyway, streaming for 5 hours. Let's go back to hear what he was doing.
The live stream consisted of Frank building a staircase in a Brooklyn warehouse, while snippets of Endless played in the background. Fans were hyped and Def Jam was confused, but once the live stream ended, they realized they were just trolled. Taken straight out of Tyler's book, Endless ended up becoming what felt like an endless wait for an endless live stream that led to a 45-minute visual album titled Endless. All to get out of the deal he says has been a chess game for 7 years. He purposefully made his final album a waste of time to lower first week sales that estimated to be a small $157,000. In other words, instead of making Def Jam millions, he gave them exactly what they saw in him, little to nothing. But the finessing wasn't over just yet when Frank finally escaped Def Jam's grasp and dropped a magazine titled Boys Don't Cry a day later. The magazine was inspired by the ones he
Maybe that's the magazine that people were talking about, and the other thing where he talked about the mom thing. That's where whose mom was giving that message. Okay, we're finding out all kind of things. Okay, what else happened?
He'd read as a kid and featured body art, cars, and other various things Frank Ocean loves, including a poem about McDonald's written by Kanye West. But as confusing as was intentional, did everyone realize the purpose of this self-sabotage was for? Def Jam believed Frank Ocean needed Def Jam, when in reality was the other way around. Without second-guessing he would leave, did they see the real potential of this artist? On the day after Endless released was Frank's 4th album, Blonde, which became the biggest industry finesse of the century. That's right, Endless and Boys Don't Cry was meant to build up hype for Blonde, which reportedly racked in $2 million on top of the supposed $20 million from the Apple deal.
Oh, now I get it. It's like a whole Ocean's 11 chess type thing going on. Did you all see? Okay, so basically he had a deal that he didn't like, with Def Jam. All right, got that. He needed to do 2 albums. He did 1, and apparently there was some issue before because he had done an album prior to that, which they didn't really go behind. There was some music on there that needed to, the whole copyright thing needed to be taken care of, and Def Jam didn't do it. That's what they said. And then, but he did have 1 official album with them. He was mad at them, and he's just like, okay, I got y'all. So he releases this album, but like essentially for free. And when it was actually released like an album, they didn't make no money. But all of that, and then of course he threw out a magazine in there, and all of that was hype for the Blonde album. He was already out of the Def Jam deal, and all the Blonde stuff went to him. I don't know. What y'all think? Is that? I don't know. That's kind of sneaky. Tell me, okay, do you all think it's okay? Is finessing people, is that okay? Or is it fine? Is finding loopholes okay? Or is it like cheating? Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Is he being wise or is he being a cheater? I don't know. Something about it don't feel right to me. But you know what? I don't have no record deal. I don't know how it works. Maybe when my son has a whole record deal, I may think differently. Let me know in the comment section. If any music people watches it, I don't know. Let me know. Okay, let's keep going. We are finding out a lot about Frank Ocean here. I ain't know all this. And then, okay, so I told you all that you needed to put a pin in the whole Chris Brown thing. You all saw they were in this category together. And then I told you all to remember it, but hold on. That was in 2012. Let's look this up. Let's look up something here. Let me see. Okay. When did Frank Ocean fight with Chris Brown? Okay. 2013. And so in 2012, Frank Ocean beats Chris for the Grammy, and in 2013 they got into a whole fight. Y'all, please. Okay, please listen to this one. Oh my, this is.
Respect you as an artist, so in my eyes, he's a hero for doing that.
So they're talking about when he came out as being gay. We'll talk about that later on in the video. Right now, let's focus on his issue with Chris Brown.
In January of 2013, a fight between Frank Ocean and Chris Brown transpired following a parking space at a studio they went to. Notably, Chris Brown was still on probation.
Okay. A parking space. A parking space. Uh-huh. Tell me more.
For the physical altercation with fellow pop star Rihanna. However, Chris Brown was set on beefing with artists the likes of Tyler the Creator, leading to Frank getting tied in and Tyler doing what he does best.
So Frank and Tyler are really good friends. You all probably already know that. And I think one of the other videos mentioned a Tyler the Creator. And I probably have to do a video on him too, because I don't know a lot about Tyler the Creator. I know his name. Well, who knows? Hold on for that one. Tyler the Creator video. Let's keep going.
Trolling.
He beats up women. He's a bitch.
But the now admitted Frank Ocean decided to stand his ground when confronted by Chris, leading to him and his team jumping Frank. According to Sean Kingston, Frank and his crew of Crips instigated the
Sean Kingston, Jamaican. Brah, brah, brah.
fight, but regardless of what the suicidal singer says, the situation didn't help Chris given his history of anger issues toward fellow celebrities. With the unlikely reality that Frank Ocean is gang affiliated with the opposing gang Chris is in, is almost hilarious and makes Sean Kingston seem like a paid alibi for the abusive pop star who may have given him the chip. It also didn't help Chris that Frank was the only one who spoke to the cops, and if Frank was street, snitching wouldn't favor his credibility, despite
Snitches get stitches. Kakashi 6ix9ine
being a world-renowned pop star. But as media ensues, they jumped on the topic of what Chris called Frank during the studio brawl. Cops reported that Chris shouted a homophobic slur to Frank while getting pinned by his goons. Within a year of Frank coming out was the immediate
called him an F word. You know, the F word for a gay person. And we're going to get more into his sexuality later on in the broadcast.
reaction from Chris when beating him up, and to this day is still being held accountable for his words and actions, inevitably regretting the incident ever happening.
Well, with the Frank Ocean situation, I just put it like this: it's in the past. Mm-hmm. You know, stuff went down, but it's whatever. It's always sensationalized and always blown out of proportion. You know, I got respect for his music. I got respect for everybody else. So, you know, I ain't really trying to, you know, go back down that route. Everything for me is moving forward. I do my music now, so I'm good.
Right. Well, hell, you was at a studio doing music then.
Yeah, you know, but
you know.
Happens.
Right. Man, shit does happen. It just seems like a lot of shit happens to you.
I woke up Chris Breezy.
That was a dig. Why you had to do my man Chris like that? Oh, you all know. Okay, you all need to go. Let me take that. You know, I like Chris Brown. It's a complicated relationship. I actually did a whole video about him, and you could look on my channel. It's on the playlist. It's If They Hate You. Oh, They Hate You is the playlist. Look on there. I did a whole video about Chris Brown. Check it out. And I didn't know that Frank Ocean had a whole beef with with Chris Brown. And you know what? Okay, I had a couple of thoughts. Cause one, y'all saw Frank Ocean beat out Chris Brown for the Grammy in 2012. And then they get into a whole brawl months later, just the beginning of January, February, over a parking space. No, feelings were hot. There must have been something. There was a competition. You know, guys are in competition like that. And they just, maybe now they have a good professional understanding and appreciation for each other. But back then they were young and still feeling bullish, and being beat out for an award. All of a sudden a parking space is more a reflection of what's really going on inside. That's why it's important, wisdom teethingers, forgive people. Let things go, because if you let it build up inside of you, I promise it'll pop out at the wrong time. Next thing you know, you find people in a parking lot over a parking space. And okay, this other part. Now, they said Tyler spoke to the police officers. Did you see that part? And he shared with the police officers that Chris gave a slur at him. And oh, I feel some sort of way about that. Like, what? Okay, anyway, tell me what you all think in the comments section below. We'll talk more about the whole sexuality of Tyler after we talk about Coachella. You saw at the top of the video, Coachella. Let's go. This is gonna be a long video because we're trying to learn and find out about him. All right. One person got a whole lot of
his fans. So Frank Ocean was supposed to headline Coachella the previous weekend. He did. Okay. And people thought it was going to be live streamed because everyone else at Coachella was live streamed. So Frank Ocean fans are excited. It's probably been his first performance in a minute. He hasn't released music in who knows how long. I don't really keep up. But they were excited. Yet to find out that it wasn't getting live streamed. There were actually reports that at the last minute, And during Coachella, he said he wanted his whole stage switched up. The article reads as follows. It says Frank Ocean's Coachella performance last night was supposed to be a return after nearly 6 years, but instead it left fans feeling disappointed and frustrated. The singer's set was cut short, marred by last-minute changes and lacking some of his famous songs. But the most important part right here is it says, however, he decided at the last minute that he no longer wanted it with this ice rink with skaters. Consequently, the festival had to dismantle the previously approved stage, melt the entire ice rink, and reconstruct the stage based on Frank's new preferences, causing an hour-long delay. Frank decided at the last minute that he no longer wanted it all. All of the people walking around him at the start of the performance were actually ice skaters, had been practicing for weeks, and were supposed to be skating as part of the production. Coachella had to deconstruct the approved stage that had been planned and signed off on for months in advance and melt the entire ice rink and then set it up how Frank decided today with no warning. Then he ended up getting on stage just before 11 p.m. when he was scheduled to start at 10 p.m. So he's an hour late. Possibly this is because of the stage having to be dismantled. But keep in mind there's a curfew for things like this. And he only managed to perform 14 songs before the show was halted around 12:20 a.m. due to curfew. Said on stage, guys, I'm being told it's curfew, so that's the end of the show. Thank you so much. A lot of fans were also upset because he was just lip syncing his music up on stage when, he's known as a vocalist, and his fans were upset. But the reason why I like Frank Ocean is he doesn't care.
Oh my goodness. Oh, so that girl that we looked at her video at the top. Let me pull it up again. We won't watch the whole thing.
All right, guys, here's everything you need to know about Frank Ocean's set at Coachella. So first off, many of us were expecting to watch.
Okay, so she gave us some details, but this guy just broke it down. I didn't realize it was all that. Frank, what are you doing? That's not good. I mean, that's not good. So Sean C had a video about him too, and y'all know I love Sean C. I've had many videos with him that I comment on some of the stuff he said, and this is what Sean C's take on it. I'm gonna link all the videos down there.
Relationship is not in a good place right now. And when I read something like that, all I can think about is the inconsideration and the lack of.
So basically, maybe I should have gone back a little bit more. Okay, let's see.
Any coverage from the festival about the set, something that is unprecedented in the history of Coachella. The relationship is not in a good place right now. And when I read something like that, all I can think about is the inconsideration and the lack of care to the people who act as accents to the main star himself. The ornaments to the Christmas tree.
Like, them people had their whole skating routine ready. Frank?
The icing on the cake, the people who aid in making the experience what it is, but remain nameless for the sake of the star, for the sake of highlighting.
I love he showed The Weeknd. I like The Weeknd.
And maintaining attention on the main performer. Again, I'm no stranger to feeling completely different to something that I have been planning for a long time at the last minute and just not wanting to do it or foregoing the whole thing altogether. But I'm also not wasting anyone's time, threatening anyone's enjoyability for the night by stalling my set and running into their curfew time. People aren't using some of the money from their work checks to fly across the country to...
I mean, yeah, this is like a huge deal for my niece, who wasn't even barely a kid alive good when Frank Ocean first came out. She was talking about, oh, Frank Ocean's gonna be at Coachella. People were talking about this. People were excited and this was a thing. Google it, look it up. All the fans were excited. This man hadn't released nothing. He's a recluse. He hadn't been seen. Nobody don't hear nothing from him for the past since 2016. Nothing. And then he hides. He doesn't. I'm gonna say he's hide. He's just not out there. He's not an out there kind of artist. And he shows up and nothing. He's lip syncing essentially at least that's what they think. And he's late, lip syncing, late, and reconstructed his whole set. Oh man.
See me. Here is someone who says they worked on the ice rink. We all thought it was super dumb but awesome at the exact same time. We lugged those heavy fake rocks, set up lights around and beneath it. It was going to be so dope. The stagehand and production crew morale really dropped when we found out it wasn't being used. Hundreds of man hours, blood, sweat, and tears for nothing. In part, that's just how it goes. But in reality, everyone was super upset. We did hours and hours of work only to scrap it hours before. And all I can say is, at least you got paid. But who wants to work in a business where you don't enjoy what you do for a paycheck? If you did, you'd be Frank Ocean, because it doesn't seem like he's enjoying what he's doing.
I mean, from all the stuff I looked up, it seems like he is like one of those tortured artists who is here for the art, and the business part doesn't really click well with him. It's just he's talented. From what I heard and what I saw, there seems to be a tension there between the fame and the art and the fans and the people that actually, even the record company, the people that actually help promote him. Oh my. Okay, let's keep going. Okay.
Seems like he's going through the motions just for the payment. And that's fine to be in that space where you just don't enjoy creating or you don't feel like doing what you're obligated to do. But at least give a shit enough about what it is that you do, even if you're not currently enjoying what it is that you do, so that other people who still enjoy what they do to help you do what you do don't feel discouraged and bummed out like this every time you decide last minute to change your mind. I also saw plenty of people saying that Frank Ocean finessed Coachella, like this was the biggest finesse of all time. You're not finessing the company that you're agreeing to do a service for. You're finessing your own fans, the people who are going to be there when the deal with
Notion has...
That's the thing. He's finessing his fans. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah. And then, so he was the headliner. He got his paycheck for the first day and, did what he did. That was the first day. The first weekend. The second weekend. Oh man, this is the second weekend.
On top of that, he's not even going to be performing the next week where he was supposed to headline again. They've got Blink-182 instead now. And the reason for that is, it says, after suffering an injury to his leg on festival grounds in the week leading up to weekend one, Frank Ocean was unable to perform the intended show but was still intent on performing. And in 72 hours, the show was reworked out of necessity. They continue. On doctor's advice, Frank is not able to perform weekend 2 due to 2 fractures and a sprain in his left leg. Frank tells us, it was chaotic. There's some beauty in chaos. It isn't what I intended to show, but I did enjoy being out there and see you soon. Yeah, I'm sure he enjoyed being out there. He got to do whatever he wanted. He got everybody to change everything last minute for him.
Oh, man. Now, Sean, in his video that I linked below, he went on to say Frank doesn't have high energy songs. It's not like he's doing dance choreography and he's no, it's not. He's not a Chris Brown performer. He's walking across the stage. He could really just sit at a piano. What was it? Was this a Grammy performance where he performed Forrest Gump? He was just standing there at a piano with lights and things around him. They could have changed things around where he just stood. He just sat. It looked like that's what he did the first day. A broken leg and ankle. And I don't know. Because it's not like it broke right then and there. They set the thing. And if he felt he's been gone for a long time, if he felt an obligation to the fans, he could have just sat with his broken ankle, get it done, take a few pain pills, since, drugs are not off the table for him, and, and prescription medication, take a few pills, sing the song, and then go home, done, rest for the rest, however long he wants to, because he takes long hiatuses. I don't know, Frank Ocean. Well, that's the deal with him, and that's what's going, people are concerned that he finesses his fans, finesses the record industry, finesses people that hire him to do things, just always trying to find a way out. I hope that's not it. I hope all these things are just independent little issues that have just kind of popped up. And so I told you we will talk about his sexuality, and that is something that people found intriguing about him, especially, and I mentioned there are people that felt he was so brave because he came out as gay. He doesn't have, he has a more masculine appearance. And of course, people were stunned and shocked and thought he was brave because he did that. And he did it in a whole letter. And I'll play the letter for you all here. It's on the interwebs. And let's play it. I'm going to play it in high speed so we're not here all night.
4 summers ago, I met somebody. I was 19 years old. He was 2. Most of the day I would see him and his smile until it was time to sleep. Sleep, I would often share with him. By the time I realized I was in love.
Let me see if I could do something with our volume. Seems like it's really low, don't it? Just listen hard. Wait, let me see what we can do about. I don't know. Okay, let me see.
It was malignant. It was hopeless. There was no escaping, no negotiating. It was my first love. It changed my life. Back then, my mind would wander to the women I had been with, the ones I cared for and thought I was in love with. I realized too much, too quickly. Imagine being thrown from a plane. I wasn't in a plane though. I was in a Nissan Maxima, the same car I packed up with bags and drove to Los Angeles in. I sat there and told my friend how I felt. I wept as the words left my mouth. He patted my back. He said kind things. He did his best. But he wouldn't admit the same. He wouldn't tell the truth about his feelings for me for another 3 years. I kept a peculiar friendship with him because I couldn't imagine keeping my life without him. I struggled to master myself and my emotions. I wasn't always successful. The dance went on. It's December 27th, 2011. By now, I've written 2 albums, this being the second. I wrote to keep myself busy and sane. I tried to channel overwhelming emotions. I'm surprised at how far all of it has taken me. Before writing this, I told some people my story. I'm sure these people kept me alive, kept me safe. Sincerely, these are the folks I want to thank from the floor of my heart. I don't have any secrets I need kept anymore. I was never alone, as much as it felt like it, as much as I still do sometimes. I never was. I don't think I ever could be. Thanks. To my first love, I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful. Grateful even though it wasn't what I hoped for, and even though it was never enough, it was. I won't forget you. I won't forget the summer. I'll remember who I was when I met you. I'll remember who you were and how we both changed and stayed the same. I've never had more respect for life and living than I have right now. To my mother, you raised me strong. I know I'm only brave because you were first, so thank you. I feel like a free man. If I listen closely...
He always looks dapper, don't he?
When I started my business in 2000...
Well, he put his letter up there and shared with us his feelings and shared that he loved men. I don't know, is he bisexual? That I don't know. I don't know if it was a bisexual or he's just strictly ickly. You know, that's a term. I don't know anything about... Did I? Yeah, I think I changed. No. I have no idea. But here's the thing. You know, I don't know if he confesses to be a Christian or not. And the truth is, people follow the rules of whoever governs their heart. And if he was a Christian, then being homosexual may be an issue for him, or may have, it didn't seem like, it sounded like his battle with it was more social, not because of core beliefs. And, you know, so if he was a Christian, then of course with Christianity, because of the biblical principles, we feel that homosexuality is not for Christians. And he doesn't have a professed Christianity. And, you know, if he ever decides to be a Christian, then he would have to figure out what he wants to do about his homosexuality. And, you know, I do feel everybody should want to be a Christian. Why not? Hallelujah. It's the happiest way to live. So that's, you know, that's Frank Ocean. Let me know what y'all think. Please. You know, we have to end it off with, you know, my guy, Hello Yassine. Hello Yassine. He had some interesting things to say about Frank Ocean. Let's see. I mean, I have it up here. Let me play it. Okay, here we go.
I've been hearing about Frank Ocean fans upset for countless years. One of the funniest ones was when people were talking about their merch. They were like, oh, I haven't gotten merch in a year. It's been 18 months. Frank Ocean scammed us. There's a vinyl that I still didn't get. Some people got it after a year, 2 years. And what did Frank Ocean say? Not a thing. And I just love that about him, because Frank Ocean is basically saying this without saying it in words. Y'all are going to listen to my music. Y'all are going to buy whatever I put out. Y'all are going to show up to whatever I do. And
it's everything you wish for. Your site traffic is skyrocketing.
Y'all know I don't have that special YouTube, so we going to let that play on mute, and we get back to what Hello Yassine thinks. Okay, commercials off. That's okay.
Like, quote unquote, scam you. I don't know if he actually scam people. It doesn't matter what I do. You're going to sit there and enjoy it. And I just love that mentality, because they're not going to change. They act upset, but are they going to stop listening to Frank Ocean? Are they going to stop going to his shows? Are they going to stop buying merch? Absolutely not.
Probably
they're going to keep
not.
doing all that. Another time when I really liked what Frank Ocean did was when he was putting out that Homer jewelry collection, and fans for some reason thought music was going to accompany it, or even funnier, that they would be able to afford the jewelry collection, which I don't think is a bad thing to assume. Like, hey, maybe there's a couple of...
Yeah, we didn't mention the jewelry thing. You all can go and watch that whole video on your own. Like, was he finessing his fans? I don't know. What do you all think? Do you all think it was a whole finesse job on his fans? Are you still a Frank Ocean fan? What do you think about him now that all this has gone down? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. You know, we're going to end the video with this part.
He's been finessing everybody. He's finessing record labels, fans, Coachella that booked him, the people that thought they were going to be ice skating around the stage, the staff, everybody. And this is why I personally have a difficult time sympathizing or empathizing, whatever the proper word is in this case. I actually think sympathize is better here, because they act like divas. So if Frank Ocean is having an issue, I don't care. You did this to yourself. Look how you treat everybody around you. Now, I don't know what's going on in his personal life. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about professionally speaking. Have we seen any artist that hasn't dropped music in 6+ years? When was the last time? 2016? Maybe.
Listen. Okay. That's what I found out about Frank Ocean. Amazing guy, talented artist, sings his butt off, writes. Beyonce is amazed by him. Best friends with Tyler, the Creator. His fans love him. But this is like a toxic love. A love that only shows up when it wants to show up. It's not a love that is dutiful. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. I found that intriguing. I'm intrigued by Frank Ocean. I know more about him than I did this morning. I tell you what, I watched a bunch of videos. I did Wikipedia. I know a lot about this man. Now I need to listen to his music. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section below which of his songs should I listen to as I try to get to know more about him. And I already learned one, the pink and white one, and then I played the intro for what was that? Be Yourself, and then I heard Forrest Gump because I didn't play that clip for you all. Of course I couldn't, because I'm sure there will be some copyright thing. But let me know in the comment section below which one of his songs should I really pay attention to. Subscribe, turn on notifications, press the like button. Let me know what y'all thought about this video format. Watch some of my other videos. Remember, I talked about watching the Chris Brown video. That one's good. If they hate Chris Brown, then they could hate you. Maybe if I remember, I will link it at the end. Was there anything else I needed to say? Oh, Frank Ocean, lots of people believe in you. They want you to win. They do. I want him to win now because I kind of like him. He's a nice looking guy, dressed nice. Oh, whatever. Okay, Frank, do your thing. Let's see what happens from here. Bye, guys.